Hello, my name is Zeke Peña, and I'm an artist from here in El Paso, Texas. CultureStrike reached out to me to collaborate on a mural here in El Paso. We've been working on this project for a really long time. The idea has changed a few times from being a mural in a kind of a public space, but ideally what we were really kind of shooting for was something inside one of the shelters, something that would actually just be used by people who are in detention, who are really dealing with these issues on a first-hand basis and a first-person basis. We have many shelters here in El Paso, and there are a lot of people being detained here and held here because we have one of the largest border crossings. I reached out to a friend here in El Paso. Her name is Marta. Marta really helped the project in terms of giving us that insight and that perspective that I felt was critical to making an image. We contacted two people who have previously been held in one of these shelters, and that are also now actually on their way to getting their papers and their status in order, which I thought was a really great message to send to people who are currently in this kind of like a limbo essentially, right? These people are trapped in between the situation that they're fleeing from, often tragic situations, very dangerous situations, and then our immigration system that is really not functioning very well at this point, to say the least. So I thought that it was a really great message to say, you know what, there is a way to get through this and people do make it through this. Also, Marta reached out to some of the youth who are actually here in this shelter and was able to speak with them about some of the ideas that they had, flat out asking, what do you want on this mural, right? Because I think that's the most critical thing when making work for a community. So we asked some questions, had some dialogue, and I mean, just really sharp youth, really wise, and just powerful words that they had to say. What I did was pull out some of those images and then also really just kind of, you know, simplify them, not only in terms of what's being portrayed in the image, but also the way that it's rendered, right? Just making it a really approachable, accessible image. This is Kelin, and this is a young woman that has recently received her status. And this is Tomas. He couldn't even really speak Spanish, and now he's fluent in Spanish and also learning, you know, English to be able to find some work. The images are the way that they look. You know, I hope that there's a pretty decent likeness. In terms of the background, we were thinking about this journey that they make, trying to tell that in terms of like the landscape. So this is pretty much what the landscape looks like here. You know, our beautiful purple mountains, the, you know, sacred ocotillo plant. One of the things that the youth brought up as a sign of hope and really just strength was the sun. Home was also something that they were thinking about. So we also tried to bring in some green. They wanted to have some vegetation in here. One of the other things that they brought up was education, and education being really critical for them having opportunities, you know, moving forward in their lives. I mean, it's power, right? Education is power. What we chose to portray was Kelin holding a book, you know, studying, reading, doing what she had to do, just like Tomas did, you know, studying the language, doing what he needed to do in order to move forward. And then put a key on the book, just this kind of a little bit of symbolism that's the way out. Another element that we had was the heart. So in thinking about home, all of those memories and those things that we carry them in our heart. People are really far away from home. They can still carry those memories, their families, their traditions, and their languages, you know, still carry a big part of themselves with them, inside themselves, that we embody that home. The final element, which is probably the most fun element. Initially we were going to have the images from the youth on the actual mural, but because there's a lot of youth, we didn't really want to have to sift through drawings and make selections of who got chosen and who didn't get chosen. At the root of that is really, how do we get their hand in this, and how do we give them access to space to be able to have a voice here, right? So this whole wall, all this purple blank space is all chalk. And you can see that a few of the youth that have helped us paint have already written their messages on chalk, and then we decided to make one of them permanent, Luchen por sus sueños, which is kind of a beautiful saying, a sense of encouragement for young people who are coming through here. There's something to be said about the process, right? These youth were just really eager to pick up the brush, amazing painters, sharp young people that you know, personally I know amongst us in the group are really excited to see what these young people do. They're coming here with great aspirations, with great ability, intelligence. One of the things that made all of us laugh was the humor, right? Going through these situations and just doing whatever they needed to do, and we can have no idea what they've gone through, but just still having that sense of humor, right? The sense of humor to kind of get through, and a mechanism of, you know, empowerment. So yeah, I'm really grateful to have this opportunity, grateful to CultureStrike and to this shelter, and also just grateful for this experience. I mean, it's something that I feel will resonate with me for a while.